analysis, and then your phone calls. Bob Pompiani joined by Hokie Bro 76, Chris Hoke. And man, what a game. So many plays to break down, but it looked like Baltimore had the lead on a touchdown pass to Isaiah Likely. And you got to give Joey Porter Jr. credit. He did not give up on that and knocked it away. I thought it was a touchdown, but they looked at it and said they didn't complete the catch. Amazing turn of events.
Well, listen, I went into this halftime thinking, okay, are the Steelers going to give up this halftime lead for the fifth time to a quality opponent this year? And it looked that way to the very end. The Steelers defense came up big on the last two drives. It was a big stop in the red zone. The defense has stopped the Ravens. And then there, with a walk-off sack by Alex Highsmith to win this game, Bob.
No question about it. The Steelers had been reeling 2-5 in their last 7. They needed a win. First time head-to-head against the Ravens. And now, by virtue of that, they move ahead of Baltimore into the 4th seed as a division leader. And what made it better today is that Cincinnati, which had a big lead on Buffalo, end up losing that game. So they're now 4-9. And you would think it's pretty much the Steelers control their own destiny with 4 games left.
They absolutely control their own destiny. And they get another game with the Ravens. So that I just think that last game of the season against the Ravens is going to be a big one. The Steelers have to keep taking care of business. They can't be inconsistent. They've lost the last 2 games, Bob. They come into this game and win. And they've got to keep this going because if not, the Ravens will take them over.
We have a lot to do, including Mike Tomlin's press conference. We have player interviews, analysis, and much more coming up. We're just getting started. Thanks for joining us as the Steelers take over sole possession of the AFC North. They did it down at M&T Bank Stadium. 27-22 your final score. We'll be back with reaction to it next right here on KDKA.
Steelers Extra Point is presented by RE/MAX Select Realty, voted the most trusted agents in real estate.
All right, welcome back. We continue right here live on KDK. Steelers get a win, a much-needed one, 27-22, in a game that had so many ups and downs in it, and it had pass completions in the air over 20 yards. The Steelers, we made a big deal about it for the last couple of weeks. They haven't been able to throw the ball downfield over 20 yards, dating back to beginning of November. Here today, they had 5 of those such plays, including 55 yards right off the bat that set up the first score of this game.
And with an exception of the turnover that they got the ball in the Ravens' territory where they went down and scored, they needed those long chunk plays to be able to score. Every single chunk play led to a score in this game. And so the Steelers need to understand that if they want to score, they've got to find a way to push the ball down the field over 20 yards, or we'll see a lot more of what we saw last week. But today it was exciting. Much more efficient with a deep ball. They started that with that first pass of the game to DK Metcalf in double coverage. Great throw by Aaron Rodgers, and that continued throughout this game, Bob.
It certainly did, and we even saw a discount double check over there by Aaron Rodgers.
He looked like a young Aaron Rodgers on that one.
He went fountain of youth. He was sipping out of it. Let's take a look at the scoring summary from this game today as we await Mike Tomlin's press conference. Steelers had the lead. As I said, at halftime looked pretty good at that point. It was Loop with the field goal, got him on the board. First possession for the Steelers, it resulted in Rodgers with a touchdown after a 55-yarder to Metcalf, Boswell with a 23-yarder, and then Gainwell. 6-yard touchdown. That made it 17-3. It seemed pretty good at that point. They got a late touchdown. Lamar Jackson on a rushing score. They missed the extra point. Boswell counters that with a 28-yarder. Then Jackson to Isaiah Likely. That was the first of what we thought were 2 touchdowns to Likely. Again, that made it 20-16. Steelers came right back. Jalen Warren. And I don't know what happened. That defense for Baltimore was asleep on that play. 38-yard touchdown run to make it 27-16. Loop a couple of more after that. But again, prior to the one, it looked like Likely had a touchdown. That's going to be debated. And we went back and, you look at the Jesse James play. Eventually they changed that rule a little bit. When you first saw it, you thought touchdown, correct?
I thought touchdown. Listen, every time you slow things down, even the Aaron Rodgers one, I think at first glance, when you see it in real time, you think, oh, that's Ravens ball. You go back and look at it, both knees down. This was a very frustrating game for the Ravens. A lot of things went against them. And you saw, I don't know how Harbaugh's going to sleep tonight, Bob, because there were so many things that where they beat themselves or just calls that didn't go in their favor, and they still had a chance to win there at the end of the game. They just couldn't pull it out.
And the Steelers, they won the game, but they still gave up over 200 rushing yards, and that's been a little bit of a problem as this season has gone on. Some games, they're, come out against Jonathan Taylor, shut him down. They did so against the Bears by and large, but there are other games when they're just allowing teams to run in big chunk yardage.
Yeah, and that's why the Ravens got back into it. They got into what they do best, and they're running the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers can't hold up play for play. Today, again, they had to play 77 plays against this Ravens offense. They ran the ball 40 times. That's a lot. That's a lot of pounding, right? At the halftime, Bob, the Steelers had only given up 73 yards rushing. At the end of the game, 217 yards. That means in the second half, the Ravens ran for 144 yards. And it's very difficult when you have a two-headed monster. Lamar Jackson, you run that read option motion, or when he scrambles. There were so many times in this game when he was able to scramble and get free when the Steelers thought they had him down, but they only came up with 2 sacks in this game with a blitz from Eccles early in the game. Lamar Jackson, his ability to run and extend plays and be able to move the chains with his legs was the difference in this game.
And to show you what kind of game it was, there were 4 Steelers went off with concussion issues. I mean, that's how hard-hitting it was.
It was a physical game.
It really was, and you'd expect that for what was on the line, which was the AFC North leadership. And right now that belongs to the Steelers, who came in behind them based on tiebreakers. The Ravens had the lead, and if they had won this game, boy, the percentages of them winning the division would have gone way up, as it has for the Steelers now. They are 7-6, Ravens behind them. The Bengals are pretty much done after they lost a game they felt they could have won in Buffalo today, 39-32, I think that final score was. Browns, losers. They're now 3-10. Mike Tomlin is ready to address the media. Let's take you live to Baltimore, Maryland.
In that locker room, it's classic Steelers-Ravens. Unfortunately, maybe a lot of guys go down in the game, but that's kind of been a component of it too. Darnell Washington had a concussion. Malik Harrison had a concussion. Pete had a concussion. Benton had an ankle. He was able to go back. A couple other evals, I think they were able to go back. But it's really kind of indicative of how this game is played, man. Appreciate the efforts. Big win for us, obviously, in a hostile environment. And we'll keep moving. Questions?
Mike, you attacked down the field right off the bat. You did it in the second half, too. Was it important with some of the second half balls that you got into?
I just think we were in aggressive posture all day. I just think that's how we got out of bed this morning. That's what's required when you're playing these guys in their venue.
What did you see that made you feel comfortable you could attack them that way?
I just think that's the way we needed to play. We needed to be aggressive. We've just been in here a lot. We're familiar with them in this environment, and that's what's required.
Like, what can you say about the defense? I know it wasn't obviously what you wanted overall, but you did hold some to 3 field goals.
Man, I'm just appreciative, man. We start having linebackers go down. That period of time when Patrick Cream was unavailable to us was uncomfortable. But that's just the component of it. That's why it's the ultimate team game. I'm just appreciative of the collective efforts.
Coach, that likely non-touchdown in the 4th quarter, Joey Porter never gave up on that play. What do you have to say about that?
Just appreciative of the effort. That's just kind of indicative of how the game needs to be played, and, be a good example of that.
Why don't you speak to Alex Highsmith and how he stepped up in some of the big plays he made today?
Man, I thought as the game got thick, you really felt his presence. We're actually coming out of that very last time out, and he turned around, was walking back toward the bench with me. I was like, Alex, what are you doing, man? Get back in there. And I'm thankful that I did, because obviously, man, he made the play today.
Did you think that likely catch was a touchdown when they called it?
I did not. But I know sometimes, in the effort to get it right, they'll signal it a touchdown and give it the benefit of the review. But no, I didn't think it was a touchdown.
Mike, big day for DK, but he also was a gunner and actually drew a holding penalty on that play. What can you say about his efforts and just showing that versatility as well?
He just brought that approach all week. I think oftentimes game day is indicative of what transpires during the week. I just thought that he had a can-do attitude, man. He was wired all week. He texted me after hours, etc. But I just appreciate his mindset and what he brought into the building today.
Mike, I don't know if you ever get a sense of this, but did you just feel a sense that Aaron was in control the whole game?
I did. But again, we knew what was on the line today. And that's why you go do business with a guy like Aaron for thick days like today. He's been there, done that guy. But beyond the experience component of it, he relishes it. You can just tell. And that's the benefit of having a guy like AR.
You said you knew you were going to need to be more aggressive with the deep passing coming in. Did you take that mindset in at the beginning of the week? Was that something you spent more extra time on?
Yes.
How did that play out through the week of practice? Did you feel, did you see the response from the guys? Did you like what you saw?
Practice is just that. It prepares you for play. And so we were reserving judgment until we got in stadium.
Coach, only 34 yards rushing today, but you were able to stretch the field a number of times. So you feel that since you were able to stretch the field today, that maybe moving forward that would help your run game?
They smashed us today. I got to give them credit. We weren't able to get it going the way that we desired. And then certainly as attrition set in, we weren't able to maintain their run, and that's what made the game as tight as it was.
Anyone else?
You had sat Roman Wilson today because of the veteran receivers. What went into that decision?
Exactly what you said, because of the veteran receivers.
What did you see out of Thielen and MVS in their first opportunity to shoot?
I appreciate their efforts, man. I think their experience showed, but certainly maybe with another week, man, it's reasonable to expect it to be better.
The Ravens defense was, they've been playing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season. What would allow you guys to maybe pass the ball down the field so well today?
I'm not going to speak for those guys. I was just talking about our mindset and what we desire to get done, and largely, particularly in the passing game, I think we were able to do so.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, that's Mike Tomlin following the game, talking about Joey Porter knocking that ball away, although I'm not quite sure it was that so much as likely just lost possession of it for whatever, but still good hustle on his part, because earlier in the game, Porter had committed a penalty on a 3rd and 8 play that led to a Baltimore touchdown. It was illegal touching your hands or something of that nature. But whatever the case was, he overcame that at the end of the game.
Maybe he didn't knock the ball out, but the pressure, right? Grabbing his arms, reaching around with his right arm, putting that pressure on that hand kind of made the movement of his hands likely dropping that ball. That was a huge play in this game. And if you think about it, that would have put the Ravens in the lead and the onus on the Steelers to drive down the field and score. So the Steelers offense went 3 and outs the last 3 drives of the game. And so they were struggling to move the ball. The Ravens defense really stepped up the intensity and the pressure they put on that offense.
So a guy who's in there every single week and does something. We were talking about Steeler MVP potential candidates. Yeah. Ken Gainwell has to be one of them. He has been really good. He's one of their top receivers out of the backfield, and every time you seem to make a play, he's in the middle of it. We'll take a break. We have more coming up, including player interviews. Rich Walsh is in that locker room. We'll turn those around for you as soon as we can. The Steelers win today, 27-22 to move to 7-6. Baltimore, that's a tough loss now, and they have a tougher schedule, at least when you look at the numbers, than the Steelers do. Steelers will play next Monday night at home against the Miami Dolphins, who've been on a heater. We'll talk about that and more as we continue right here on the Ford Extra Point, KDKA TV.
Welcome back to the Ford Steelers Extra Point.
All right, welcome back. We continue. Steelers get the win. They had some big plays today going down the field right off the bat. And DK Metcalf had a huge game when you think about it. 7 catches for 148 yards. He was one of the big reasons why they won this game today. Finally unlocked him a little bit. The playoff implication of this game is significant because it took the Steelers from the in the hunt, and they moved them into the number 4 seed. At this point, it's 7-6. And you see right now Buffalo is trying to overcome New England. That's a tough division. They're going to play coming up here, and that's going to be an interesting game. Denver has the number 2 spot. Now it's Jacksonville. They moved to number 3, and they did so by beating Indianapolis on a day where Daniel Jones looked to suffer an Achilles injury. He was in a lot of pain, so frustrated on the field. And then the Steelers at the 4th seed, and you see the wild card is going to go right down to the wire there. Houston has a big game with Kansas City tonight, and the Chiefs really need to win that game. Houston's been playing well. Baltimore, Miami, and Cincinnati now need to really get hot and hope for some things to happen. So, Chris, again, I mentioned the schedule's coming up. The Steelers have Miami. Then they have Detroit, which is not going to be easy in Detroit the way they play. Cleveland on the road, Baltimore at home.
All tough games.
All tough, but Baltimore has a tougher road, though. They got to have Green Bay in there and some other significant games. So I think this game was so important, but it still very well could come down to that last game of the year.
Well, what team are we going to have every Sunday showing up for the Steelers? Is it going to be the team that showed up today that fought their tails off in Baltimore, a very difficult place to play, or the ones that we saw the last 2 weeks? So if the Steelers can either come out and fight like they did today, pushing the ball down the field, playing defense the way they did today, they will be able to finish this thing up strong. But some very, very difficult games. Remember, division games. Right? The Miami Dolphins that are upstart and really playing well, and the Lions are very, very physical playing on their turf. That's just a tough final 4 games of the season.
We'll see, but it started today with a tough one. It won't get any tougher than this. DK Metcalf at the podium right now. Let's take you here from number 4.
What turned it around for you guys?
I think we just knew what was at stake. First place for the division, and we knew we were coming in facing a good team, and they had just come off a loss as well, so we know we were going to get their best shot. But I think we had a great practice all week. We were on all the details throughout the whole week, and I think that it came to fruition out there on the field.
What were you guys saying to each other about how to approach this game during the week?
I mean, I just felt it. Everybody kept talking about the rivalry between the Steelers and the Ravens, and, that's all that needs to be said. Mike T would show old clips of the previous years and how the games came down to, last second, plays made by, our team. But I think we just knew what was at stake, and, that's what happened.
They came out attacking right off the bat with the deep ball, and then even started the second half. Was that part of the plan, just attacking them and be aggressive all day?
Yes, sir. And then I think, we all got our opportunities downfield and got our opportunities to make plays, and when the ball was in there, we capitalized on it.
It's one thing to decide you want to throw the ball deep a lot, but you guys executed at a really high level. What were the details that you feel like you did right today that you're able to do it on lockdown?
I think just us connecting at practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and even on Friday. The defensive scout team gave us great looks. We were competing all week at practice. And then, like I said, man, we're on all the details, all the checks, all the looks at practice. We were communicating all week. So, I think it was just a perfect storm. For everything to just come together and for us to play a good game like that.
You mentioned Storm. What's it like to get a win like this for Mike Tomlin after kind of the last week or so that he's had that you guys have had?
Yeah, we knew not to pay attention to any outside noise. Like I've said this before, Coach T is a great leader for us, and he's done nothing but take the bullets for us. Even when it's when we're high and when we're low, but. He's always come in every day, has been steady and stayed the same, always motivated us to always, play our best ball. And, that's what he did last week. And like I keep saying, man, we knew what was at stake. First place in this heated rivalry. The better team came on top.
Was it satisfying for you guys to get the win, though, in that way, in the middle of everything?
Oh, yeah. Offense played good. Could still had a little lull at the end there, but for the defense to come up big how they did was amazing.
What's the conversation like?
Mike said earlier that you guys practice a lot. How much did that first play specifically mean to you guys to hook up like that?
Yeah, it was great. Felt great. When I saw Aaron loaded up, I was like, here we go. And that was it. That's all I've been waiting for is opportunities down the field. And we were able to capitalize on it.
Did you sense Aaron more locked in than he normally is?
No, he's always been the same. Every game. But this week it felt different as a team, as a whole. As an offense, we knew what was at stake, and like I said, man, it just felt different this week at practice. Getting off the plane last night, getting here at the stadium, it just felt different.
What was the meeting on Monday that you had in this house with all the Steel people? What was that? I mean, did that serve any extreme purpose, at least help you in this game? What was that all about? What was the impact?
No, I ain't go to the meeting.
What's that?
I ain't go to the meeting on Tuesday. No. I meet with Aaron and Art on Tuesday morning, so I ain't go to that meeting.
What's the conversation?
All right, that's DK Metcalf, and his day was a good one. 7 catches, 148 yards there. You see the targets, they were looking for him, no question, down the field. And I got to say this about his performance today. Not only was he really running extra hard after plays broke down, but Aaron Rodgers also made things happen. I talked about Fountain of Youth. He was rolling left, right, trying to buy time, and in 2 of those plays, one of 41 yards, one of 28 yards, it was because of his ability to keep a play alive.
He looked possessed today, Aaron Rodgers, right? And look at DK Metcalf. You knew that they were pushing the ball to him early and often. On that first drive by when they went down and scored, they went to DK Metcalf every single pass. And so they had intentions to go out and go after him. That's why he had 7 catches for 148 yards. One thing I'd like to see him catch the ball cleanly a couple of times. He juggled the ball, and he could have gotten additional yardage. Right, it slows you down when you catch the ball and you're able to put your foot in the ground and go. He did it a couple of times. They were that one catch on the sideline, the big 41 yard catch. It was a bobble. So I'd like to see him catch it cleanly, which would help him with his run after catch.
There's also
Steelers Nation, soak this one in. Because wins like this don't come quietly. They come with bruises, tension, and a message attached. A 27-22 victory over the Baltimore Ravens on the road in a hostile environment in the heart of the AFC North race is exactly the kind of game that tells you who a team really is. This wasn't pretty football. This wasn't clean football. This was hard, physical, situational football, the type of game Pittsburgh has been built to survive for decades. The defense bent, but it did not break. Red zone discipline, timely stops, and relentless effort kept Baltimore from ever truly seizing control. Lamar Jackson was contained, forced to earn every inch. No explosive takeover, just frustration. Offensively, the tone was set early. Aggression, confidence, intent. The Steelers attacked downfield right away and refused to play scared. Aaron Rodgers played in control, delivering when it mattered most. Third downs, red zone drives, critical moments late. This wasn't about volume. This was about command, about protecting the football, about trust and preparation. And then there was DK Metcalf, finally unleashed, targeted early, fed often, and decisive when his number was called. This offense has been begging for someone to tilt the field, and on Sunday, DK did exactly that. Big catches, big moments, maximum impact. What defined this win wasn't dominance in one area, it was survival everywhere. Injuries piled up, bodies went down, the game tightened, and still, Pittsburgh answered. Alex Highsmith showing up when the moment got heavy. Joey Porter Jr. refusing to give up on plays. Collective effort, collective resolve. The run game never fully showed up, but the passing game compensated. The offensive line held firm, keeping the pocket clean against a dangerous Ravens front. When Baltimore made a push, Pittsburgh responded. When the Ravens threatened to flip momentum, the Steelers shut the door. This win matters. It matters in the standings. It matters in the rivalry. It matters in the locker room. It sends a reminder across the division. Pittsburgh is not fading. Pittsburgh is fighting. And when these games turn into wars, the Steelers still know how to win them. Steelers Nation, tell me what this victory means to you. Does this feel like a turning point? Can this team build off this moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button. Subscribe to Steelers Nation Why, and let's keep this conversation going.